So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, and a very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 257th episode. In the last 256 episodes, we have talked to and interacted with more than 5,000 school leaders on this very platform where they've shared their ideas, opinions, innovation, and what all new are they doing in the education space. तो नमस्कार, आप सभी का स्वागत है ब्लब वर्ल्ड वेब टॉक्स के 257वें एपिसोड में। पिछले 256 एपिसोड्स में हमने करीबन करीबन 5,000 से ज्यादा शिक्षाविदों से बातचीत की और उनसे जानने की कोशिश की कि वो शिक्षा को कैसे बदल रहे हैं और शिक्षा उन्हें कैसे बदल रही है। So today as well, in the next 30 to 40 minutes that you are here with us, we'll try to explore one more topic that impacts the lives of teenagers, students, schools, universities, and anyone and everyone who typically has a teenager or a child at home or is dealing with one day in and day out. Today, we are going to talk about something superbly interesting. Why? Because this is something where, you could have a dramatic impact on your life. It could be drastic. It could be amazing. But most importantly, we'll try to explore how every single expression, every single like, share, anything that you may do on social media, what all implications could it bring to you? How does the law and the typically social media interact? And where does the role of students and their interaction count when we try to talk about this? So today in the 257th episode, we'll be talking about social media and the law, navigating your digital footprint. Now, what's your digital footprint? Whatever you do on social media, any update, anything that you tell the world when you go on social media creates a form of evidence that we call your footprint. You have to remember that whatever you're doing is being saved somewhere at some point of time, which can always be retrieved. So let's try to know from school leaders, from university leaders, from teenagers, what do they think about it? So let me now invite a teenager to the call to add some more perspective to this discussion. A very warm welcome to Mr. Madhav Menon, who's a grade 12 student from Greenfield, Chennai, International School, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Madhav, I'm not able to pronounce your middle name. I'm really sorry for that. It'll be great if you could do it for all of us. A very warm welcome to you. Please unmute yourself, and the next 3 minutes are yours. Over to you.
So in India, social media is regulated primarily through the IT Act of 2000. All right. So there are a lot of sections if you go diverse into that law. There are sections which track down your privacy. There are sections which track down if you're being hateful on social media. There are many if you go into it. But the main problem is most of the individuals on the internet do not care enough to know about such laws. So India continues to grapple with issues related to the spread of misinformation, hate speech, online violence on social media, spreading of rumors, etc., etc. So these laws try to compromise on your safety by regulating the information you spread outside. So navigating your digital footprint involves being mindful of the information you share online. You can so I had this talk with one of the speakers in an orientation, and one of the students of a school had actually applied to go for Australia and in a university in Australia, and he had gotten through also. But during the background checks of the person in ninth grade, somehow the kid was holding a beer bottle and had posted the picture on his Instagram. So the school college said, no, we cannot allow you into Australia because we don't know if you're an alcoholic since ninth grade. We cannot accept it. So they asked, how did you know? Because there's this word called digital footprint. Now, digital footprint is the trail of data you leave behind online, which presents various risks, including privacy violation, identity theft, reputational damage. Cyber criminals can exploit this information for social engineering attacks and a lot of activities which most of us will think are very complex terms.
So much, Madhav. I think a very well researched, output that you've given today. A lot of teenagers or a lot of students who might be listening to this conversation can take a lot of pointers from what Madhav talked about. Yes, you talked about the Indian IT Act, and at the same time, there's something very interesting that typically a lot of countries adhere to. In India, it's not something that's a legal binding, which is called COPA, Child Online User Protection Act. Let me invite the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Mr. Kapil Talwar, who's the principal of Al Mahad School from Samhij, Murakka, Bahrain. Kapil sir, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daksh. I am there in the platform now for the second web talk. So, beginning with this digital footprint, which we are talking about. First of all, these are all actions that we take online, as well said by Madhav also, and well said by Mr. Daksh also. This is about when we say active and passive. There are two types. One is active, where we give consent, and there is a non-active or passive where we don't give consent, but unintentionally the data is being transferred from us only to the this world of which we can digital social media. Now, there are many uses of these digital footprints. Very well said by Madhav again. It's for the verification purposes also. The university do check it that whether you have some digital footprints and which are really will be going to damage the sanctity of that university in any way. Even the government agencies, when you will be hired, a government job will be given to you before they finalize your candidature and give you a final approval. They do check that. And we should not forget about hackers and scammers, because hackers and scammers are looking for our data at most of the time. And now we see that this hacking and even the the scammers, the call from them now are increasing day by day.
Kapil sir, I think a very parallel sort of a system you're trying to propose through this conversation, that where the government typically becomes the authenticator of all the accounts, where they create a sort of a bank which holds your complete digital identity into one single ID that might be given to an individual, which could be regulated by the government, authenticated through an OTP, and there could be multiple levels of protection that could be put onto it. And just to bring to everyone's notice, this is something that's really interesting, that should be experimented. But what we have seen, that once things come on the internet, even the government servers are not, able to protect information. Thank you so much, Kapilji. Let me invite the next speaker for today. Let's now go to a teenager to take their perspective on it. A very warm welcome to Miss Vaidehi Parik, who's a grade 10 student from Indian Language School, Lagos, Nigeria. Vaidehi, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
My name is Vaidehi Parik, and I'm an MP at the 4th World Team Parliament, currently studying in grade 10 at Indian Language School, Lagos, Nigeria. Now, let me say this experience. I bet that all my generation, the teenagers, have experienced. Remember that one time you were stalking someone's profile and accidentally liked a post from 2 months ago? Yeah, that exact same panic. That's your digital footprint saying hi. Now, social media is fun. You get to express a lot of things, you connect with people, and even get to argue whether pineapple goes with pizza. But here's the scary part: you're also literally sharing your entire life with strangers online. What school you go to, what park you run in, what flavor you like in your ice cream, what time you're usually online, all of it, it's out there, gift wrapped for anyone, I guess, who's curious enough to look. And some people think, as long as I don't post anything bad, I can do whatever I want. No, harassing someone or spreading rumors, online or offline, is still wrong. Social media won't protect you from the consequences. I'm not sure if everyone has watched this movie. It's called CTRL, Control. It's featuring Ananya Pandey. It's a Bollywood movie, which actually amazingly shows how easily we all are influenced by social media and all the ongoing trends, especially how we ignore the terms and conditions, as Madhav and Mr. Daksh had previously said. It in the movie, it ultimately led to a very drastic change in her life. She had to go through a lot, and I guess that teaches a lot about today's generation, how we easily get manipulated and influenced.
So much, Vaidehi. And I think the phenomenon that you really quoted in the beginning is something that a lot of us have experienced, because that's the essence of social media. Every human being is superbly interested and curious about what's happening in the lives of other people. So a lot of people are really, scrolling around and trying to typically take a peek into what's happening in other people's life. And yes, sometimes you click on that like button from a post that's 3 or 4 months old, and that's when you realize, oh shit, Let me invite the next speaker for today. We'll try once again going back to Professor R.K. Singh. I think initially we faced some internet challenge. I would once again invite Professor R.K. Singh, the Vice Chancellor for ICFI University, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Sir, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm.
So I was talking about the this particular aspect in the higher education, and especially for the PhD research scholars. Today, the tools like AI, generative AI, Chat GPT, and so many other platforms from where the students are practicing to complete their literature review before they start their PhD work. So in that particular aspect, the ethical practices become very important, and lot many regulatory guidelines has been brought into by the Department of Higher Education states, by the University Grant Commission of India, and so many other regulatory bodies. But still, the certain kind of the things come in picture which put the people in trouble. So that is the reason in new education policy, the plagiarism check software keeps the limit for 10%, and then these documents also need to be uploaded the portal like Sodh Ganga, PhD thesis as a whole, and then synopsis on Sodh Gangotri, and the plague check report as well. But still, this kind of the challenges remain there in the higher education. So University Grant Commission has brought a two credit course which is known as a research and publication ethics.
Thank you so much, Professor R.K. Singh. I think you brought in a very important aspect which we would have all missed because we come from the school education space, was research quality and research ethics. Right now, when as a teenager you look at all of this, you know it might seem like it's super distant. It does not typically relate to our lives. You have to understand every single small little innovation that you might be using right now as a product is a result of people who have done authentic research, who kept their ethics, who were right, who just did not rely on tools like Chat GPT and some other, plagiarizing software. Because they were authentic, because they kept their ethics. So you had a simple invention like a specs that a lot of you and I also use. So you have to understand that ethics become superbly important when you really talk of laws, social media, and interacting with the internet. Thank you so much, sir. Let me invite the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Miss Elizabeth Biju, who's a grade 10 student from Greenfield Chennai International School, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. Elizabeth, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm.
Namaste, warm greetings to all. I am Elizabeth Biju of grade 10A from Greenfield Chennai International School in India. And I will be sharing my thoughts on the topic social media and the law, navigating your digital footprint. You are responsible for everything you post, and everything you post is a reflection of you. These powerful words by the journalist Johny Kant perfectly sums up my entire speech. That's why it's crucial to understand the role the law plays in our digital lives and how to keep our online trail smart, not sorry. Let's be realistic. Today, our digital reputation is as important as our physical reputation, our offline reputation. So, everything you do is out in the world. Imagine your digital footprint like a shadow. It follows you everywhere, even in the dark, when you think no one's watching you. So, next time you forward a joke that spreads fake news, you could be committing an offense. Going and taking pictures in legally illegal places, that will make you cost. Cyberbullying, that's rude and also illegal. I could go on and rattle about various IPC sections like 505, 124A, the IT Act. But the heart of this matter is treating every post of yours like a resume line. If it can't impress, don't post it. The law, now, one of the most important questions of this topic is, does it hamper our freedom of speech? Well, speech is free, but the consequences, not always. The law draws the line when harm begins. So let's use our online voices wisely.
I think you've given a very nice analogy where you say we are trying to, code by using a typewriter. So this is the kind of disconnect that's there between the legislation that we currently have and the kind of technology that's there available to cheat anyone everywhere at absolutely no cost. You can do deep fakes without spending any money. You can do AI generated images and videos, by spending absolutely nothing. And you have a legislation that doesn't even understand how all of this is happening. So the bigger question that actually comes out of all of this is that, can law really pace up with technology? And most importantly, if you bring legislation or policing into everything, then are we really giving freedom of expression? Are we not beating the sole purpose of democratizing communication by bringing in social media? We're really defeating the whole idea of social media's existence when we want to regulate every part of it. The next speaker for today, a very warm welcome to Mrs. Helen Mohi, who's the principal of Adeola International School from Kubwa, FCT Abuja, Nigeria. Helen ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Thank you. I'm Helen from Kubwa, Abuja, Nigeria. Social media has greatly impacted our ways of communication and relationship in general, irrespective of the freedom of speech that has been given to everyone to speak in the various countries. But it's still important to know that social media is regulated by laws, and we must be aware of the legal implications of our online activities. It's very important. Your digital footprint is the overall data of all that you do online. It shows the record of your online activities, such as the people you interact with, the comments people make about you, what you post, everything, sites that you visit. These data are carried, they're collected either to be used for against you or for you, either by your employer, even among your peers. So it's very important for us to know that we don't just go online and post anything. There are two things I want to emphasize here. First, you must navigate and protect your digital footprint. You must navigate and protect, you must protect your digital footprint. Monitor your presence. From time to time, change your password to avoid hacking, to avoid a breach into your data.
I think a very important point that you mentioned. Whenever you post on social media, don't think of it like a post. Think of it in a way that you're creating legacy. Because whatever you're putting out there will be seen by someone, will be interpreted by someone, people will make observations out of it, and it could impact your personal lives even. I will, it's not a very appropriate place to share this, but, I have seen a lot of my friends, who, went through divorces at an early age in life, and they were always superbly impatient to just remove everything from social media so that they don't have a trace of their own life. It's not that easy. You cannot just delete something on social media and your past cannot go away forever. It's a serious conversation that I am trying to put forth on a forum. It might be appropriate, it might not be appropriate, but you have to understand social media is a projection. It's not your life. The problem is that the current generation is born within that age of social media. So it's very difficult for them to differentiate both of them. They really think that somebody's picture perfect moment is real life. Let me invite the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Ms. Archisha Tripathi, who's a grade 10 student from Indian Language School, Lagos, Nigeria. Archisha, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm.
My name is Archisha Tripathi. I am currently in grade 10 studying in Indian Language School, Lagos, Nigeria. So let's start with a quick question. How many of you have accidentally posted that one very embarrassing text message to your friend and immediately regretted it because you spelled academic as academic? Yes, it happens to all of us. Yes, it's a very common mistake. But social media has its way of making us quite bold and sometimes quite careless. And that's the serious side of social media. It has certain rules and laws we need to follow. And let's face it, all of us have been guilty of a couple of digital crimes. And no, I am not here to put anyone in jail because you have put fake names like Bad Boy Charlie on Instagram. And yes, putting fake names is actually a crime. Because who here is going to actually read through terms and conditions while we just go down and click, yes, I agree? Because terms and conditions nowadays are like IKEA furniture manuals where there are actually 25 pages which no one has the time in the world to read. Your digital footprint is a lot like glitter. Once it's out, you have my best wishes to try and clean that up, because once the cat is out of the bag, there it's no way it's going back in. That one post of you at your distant uncle's anniversary wedding, what your cat ate on Tuesday, every slay queen comment on your friend's post, and every accidental liked photo from 2012 contributes to your online presence. Because why do you think your friends have ugly screenshots of you that they post on their stories on your birthday? And here's the kicker. Imagine losing your dream job just because of some old tweet you put on April in 2010 where you argued that cereal comes before milk. Yes, that is a real thing. Yes, that's a tragedy. Ever feel like your phone is listening to you? Suppose you mention you need new sneakers and suddenly your entire feed is just full of sneaker ads from every possible brand, like from Adidas to Abibababas. Yes, that is not a coincidence. I think not, because you need to be quite careful on what you say, because whatever you say and do is being recorded and stored in an internet archive. And if you're not careful, you might end up becoming a meme in some far off matrix. And then there comes the legality of it and the infamous cyberbullying and deep seeks. Plus, you don't want to be the reason some lawyer gets rich because you posted a video of you jet skiing on the same beach a person was eaten by a shark. And everyone here we know posts their stories of them traveling, and that ticket and that information can be used to question you in court that why were you traveling, why were you there, what was your time, etc.
Thank you so much, Archisha. I think a very perfect conclusion to the conversation that we had today. That, this is something that we have all experienced. We trip into, just posting everything. We have that guilty pleasure coming out of it. We see that nonsense giving us so much of satisfaction when we see that like counter going up or that share counter going up. It's like that adrenal rush that you get. And these devices, they're so much into our lives that we cannot even control it anymore. Even when I sit in my office, when I'm doing all of this conversation, I am sure this Alexa sitting right next to me might be listening to everything that I say. And at some point in the future, it could become an evidence against me, because look, Alexa just started speaking. So what I'm trying to say, in a US court some time back, Alexa, or typically Amazon, was forced to open their server recording for a case investigation where Amazon had to, typically accept, Alexa, please don't speak. So typically Amazon had to reveal that they're listening to every single conversation that you're doing in the room where there is an Alexa present. Because whenever this word comes out of your mouth, there's a prompt which typically starts speaking. So are we really compromising our life for a projection which is typically absolutely fake? So are we compromising everything that's real for just some guilty pleasure? Is this pleasure so critical, so important for our lives that we are compromising our lives for it? Think of it. Give yourself some time to ponder on what you have done in the past. Scroll through your own reels. See your own feed long back. Go back a year or two and see it yourself as a personality, as an individual. There'll be a lot to learn from it, but see the way you do posting, you do interaction with the world. What's your projection to the world? Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of the Blub World Web Talks. This was the 257th episode. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this conversation. Namaste. I am Daksh. I'm the founder of the Blub World magazine. And it's superbly amazing to talk to you once again in one of these episodes.